Thank you, folks. Special thanks. How you doing, Hazel? Boy, the old dynamo there. Beautiful. I love her. Anyways, my friends, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for the kind and warm welcome. My friends, it's great to be with you here today, and it's great to be back in the beautiful city of Ottawa. I want to start by recognizing all of the great work that AMO does in bringing municipal issues to the forefront of our government. And I want to take a moment to thank my good friend, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, Steve Clark, and his staff. Steve, where are you? We affectionately call him Clarky. So Clarky, what a great job. They've done a great job, and I'm a huge believer in having an honest and open dialogue with municipalities. I'm a former Toronto City Councillor myself, so I know that our municipalities are often the level of the government that is closest to day-to-day lives of Ontarians. And I've always said that, my friends. They call you up every day, and no one knows better than Hazel getting calls every day. You probably still get calls every day, Hazel. But getting calls and responding to people's doors, no matter if it's a crack in their sidewalk or a clogged sewer or debris in the park, you're connected. You're connected when you're at the municipal level. My friends, the decisions you make around service delivery and infrastructure and investments have real impacts on the daily lives of Ontario residents. And you will hear from the people of every community every day. They will let you know who you're accountable to, who we are all working for. And this was certainly my experience at the municipal level. Now we all know the City of Toronto left AMO a couple of years before I was elected. And while, of course, it's up to Toronto and other AMO members to make their own decisions, I do think, from where I'm standing now, I think it's a missed opportunity for Toronto not to be participating in some capacity. And there is one thing I know from my time on City Council that I think everyone here can relate to. If you don't respect the taxpayers, they will always remind you who you work for. And that lesson holds true for me in my new job as well. Because no matter what level we work at, there's only one taxpayer. Protecting taxpayers was a key theme in our most recent provincial campaign. And for those of you in the elected office, I'm sure it will be the same theme for your campaigns come the fall. And I want to wish every municipal elected person and to-be elected person all the best in the upcoming election. We all share an obligation to respect taxpayers and deliver services efficiently and effectively. We must always, always keep people first. This commitment underpins everything our government does. Quite simply, we're for the people. Last week, the Ontario legislature rose. We called the legislature back immediately after taking office because we believed there were too many urgent priorities to wait until fall. My friends, I can tell you the rubber hit the road when we got to Queen's Park. Many of these priorities touch on the work you do each and every day. It starts with these so-called green energy projects. The previous government decided to ram these wind and solar farms into backyards of communities that didn't want them. And then, to add insult to injury, they forced hydro ratepayers to hand over their hard-earned money and subsidize the insiders who got these contracts. In fact, the Green Energy Act is the largest transfer of money from the poor and middle class to the rich in Ontario's history. And even during the election campaign, they were still doing this. Right in the middle of the campaign with the White Pines project in Prince Edward County. We put an end to that. One of our first acts in government was to cancel 758 unnecessary renewable energy projects and to cancel the White Pines project, saving $790 million for the ratepayers. The Green Energy Act's days are numbered, and you can count on us to consult with you about your priorities. We promise to tackle 21st century crime and protect law-abiding families and citizens. So we are giving our men and women in uniform the right tools and resources they need to keep families and communities safe from crime. We are investing over $182 million in 9 Ontario provincial police detachments with the latest in modern policing technology. So our police have what they need to go after the bad guys. And when cannabis becomes legal in Canada, you can expect us to be ready. We will be ready with a system in place immediately that protects consumers, keeps our kids and communities safe, and undermines the illegal market, including $40 million over 2 years to help you prepare for legalized cannabis. We will consult with you, and even more importantly, we will empower you to get this right. We will be introducing legislation that, if passed, we will give each of you the ultimate say in whether you want physical cannabis retail stores in your communities. We also took action to make government in Toronto, in York, in Peel, Niagara, and Muskoka more efficient with the Better Local Government Act. And while you have the details about that act, let me tell you that we are excited about this law and what it will do, saving taxpayers $25 million and improving decision-making across the city. And the feedback we are getting from the people on this move has been overwhelmingly positive. My friends have been in politics a long time. No matter what I've done in municipal politics or provincial politics, I have never, ever had a more positive feedback than what we did at the City of Toronto. I occasionally get asked if I have plans to introduce a similar law here in Ottawa or elsewhere in the province. I would say that many of Toronto issues are specific to Toronto, which is still governed by its own act. And as for the other regional municipalities, that these 4 have in common is that the Liberals imposed these new elected regional chairs in 2016. And the last thing any municipality needs is yet another layer of elected politicians. That, I agree, that's a double who for me. That's not how you make better decisions, by having more politicians. So these were unique situations, and no, we do not, I repeat, we do not have plans for similar legislation in our near future. What we are doing is partnering with you. As I've traveled across Ontario, I've spoken to countless mayors, councillors, wardens, and other representatives. And it doesn't matter if I'm in Kenora or Cornwall, I hear similar things time and time again. You want a provincial partner that listens to your needs and the needs of your communities, instead of the insiders and the lobbyists. A partner that helps you bring investment and good jobs to your communities, a partner that cuts through the red tape and gets things done, a government that puts up a big sign that I've said over and over again, Ontario is open for business. We've already acted to create and protect jobs in Ontario. We've protected the 7,000 jobs that depend on the Pickering Nuclear Generating Station. We're also going to reduce the tax burden on businesses to attract investment and jobs across Ontario. And we're going to do whatever it takes to stand up for local Ontario jobs. No matter what happens in the trade dispute between the federal government and the United States, for instance, we promised to get Ontario moving faster than ever before for cities like Ottawa, Kitchener, Waterloo, Hamilton, London, Brampton, and Mississauga. That means money to help them get major transit projects up and running. For the rest of Ontario, that means getting our highways and roadways back into shape for the millions of families, workers, and businesses who use them every single day. And we're going to make driving on these highways cheaper by reducing the price of gas by 10 cents a liter, which will also help our economy. My friends, when I was sworn in as Premier, I said that this government would never forget who put us here, the people. The people of this great province have trusted us to keep our word and work tirelessly each and every day on their behalf. For years, the people of Ontario have struggled under fiscal mismanagement, record levels of debt, and crumbling infrastructure. What I learned as a city councillor is that the big solutions to big problems often start with solving something small, like a phone call from someone in your community asking for your help. We're going to continue to listen to the people. We will work hard with you because you are the closest to everyday needs of the people. And together, we will make this province better than it has ever been before. And I can assure each and every one of you and every municipality and every person in Ontario, a new day has dawned in Ontario, a day of prosperity and growth the likes this province has never seen before. I thank you, and God bless each and every one of you. Thank you.